Chapter 1. Anastasia Steele, a 21-year-old English literature major who is heading to Seattle to interview Christian Grey on behalf of her friend Kate Kavanaugh. Kate is unable to conduct the interview due to being sick with the flu. Ana is portrayed as self-conscious and insecure. Upon arriving at Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc., where Christian is the CEO, Ana notices the beautiful blonde women working there, which further intensifies her feelings of inadequacy. As Ana enters Christian's office, she accidentally stumbles and falls to the floor. Christian assists her in getting up, revealing his attractive and youthful appearance. Christian invites Ana to take a seat, and she observes the large, well-furnished office, noticing a series of painted small objects that aim to elevate the ordinary to the extraordinary. Ana begins the interview by asking questions from Kate's notes, starting with the source of Christian's success. He responds by emphasizing that business revolves around people and claims to possess exceptional judgment in that regard. Ana remarks that he sounds like a control freak, to which Christian admits, "Oh, I exercise control in all things." Ana perceives him as arrogant and controlling. Continuing with Kate's questions, she inquires about Christian's sexual orientation, but he denies being gay. Christian becomes intrigued upon learning that Ana has no affiliation with the newspaper and decides to learn more about her. Although he offers to show her around the office building, she declines, and he escorts her to the elevator before the doors close. Chapter 2. Ana returns home feeling unsettled by her encounter with Christian. Kate eagerly awaits the details of the interview and asks Ana about Christian's demeanor. Kate listens to the interview recording and speculates that Christian is interested in Ana, causing her to blush. Ana finds herself dreaming about Christian frequently that week. She contacts her mother, who is in her third marriage, and denies having met someone when her mother inquires. Ana then reaches out to her stepfather, Ray, whom she considers her real father. Over the weekend, Ana's friend Jose Rodriguez visits her apartment with a bottle of champagne to celebrate the decision by Portland Place Gallery to exhibit his photographs. Ana acknowledges that Jose desires a romantic relationship with her, but she doesn't reciprocate those feelings. She contemplates whether her high ideals and expectations regarding romance are influenced by the literary heroes she admires. Ana longs for the excitement, desire, and romance she finds in literature, but refuses to acknowledge the similarities she perceives with Christian. Surprisingly, Christian unexpectedly appears at Clayton's, the hardware store where Ana works, claiming to be in Portland for business and in need of supplies. Ana becomes electrified by his presence and finds herself blushing uncontrollably. She informs Christian about Kate's request for photos to accompany the newspaper article, and he hands her his business card to arrange the shoot. When Paul Clayton greets Ana and they share a hug, she notices Christian's demeanor turning cold. After Christian departs, Ana admits to herself that she likes him and experiences emotions she has never felt before. Chapter 3. Ana excitedly informs Kate that she has Christian's cell phone number and that he agreed to a photo shoot. Kate is thrilled by the news and suggests that Christian must have some interest in Ana to have given her his number. Although Ana finds the idea delightful, she hesitates to fully believe it. Meanwhile, Paul, who asks Ana out whenever he's home from college, invites her on a date. Ana manages to convince Jose to be the photographer for the shoot. After arranging the shoot with Christian over a phone call, Ana dreams about him again that night. The photo shoot takes place at the Heathman, the hotel in downtown Portland where Christian is staying. Christian's driver, Taylor, is present as well. After the shoot, Christian invites Ana for coffee. Ana informs Kate that she's going with him, but Kate expresses her concerns, calling Christian gorgeous, but also dangerous, especially for someone like Ana, whom she considers an innocent. At the coffee shop, Christian inquires about Ana's relationships with Jose and Paul. He also asks about her family and reveals that he has a brother and sister. As they walk back to the hotel so Ana can retrieve her car, she asks Christian if he has a girlfriend, to which he responds that he doesn't do the girlfriend thing. While walking, Ana stumbles, and a bicycle narrowly avoids hitting her. Christian catches her in his arms, and she secretly wishes he would kiss her. Chapter 4. Following the incident with the bike, Christian tells Ana, "Anastasia, you should steer clear of me. I'm not the man for you." Aina feels humiliated by his rejection and leaves, feeling devastated. Alone, she cries, overwhelmed by her insecurities, listing all her perceived flaws, such as being too pale, too skinny, and uncoordinated. She has never put herself out there because she's always believed she's not good enough. Aina and Kate finish their final exams, and they plan to celebrate by going to a bar. Aina receives a package from Christian containing 3 first-edition volumes of Tess of the D'Urbervilles. He includes a card with a quote from the novel, expressing surprise that Aina didn't warn him of the danger, drawing a parallel to the character of Tess. At the bar, Aina gets drunk and calls Christian to ask why he sent her the books. He realizes she's intoxicated and asks her which bar she's at, but she refuses to tell him. After hanging up, he calls her back and informs her that he's coming to get her. Christian arrives just as Joes reveals his desire to kiss Aina. Despite her refusal, Joes persists, prompting Christian to intervene and tell Joes to back off. Aina ends up vomiting, and Christian carries her outside. He mentions that his brother Elliot is with Kate, and that Aina will be leaving with him. Overwhelmed, Aina faints in Christian's arms. Chapter 5. Aina wakes up the morning after in Christian's suite at the Heathman Hotel. Christian chastises her for getting excessively drunk and not eating. He comments that if she were his, she wouldn't be able to sit comfortably for a week due to her behavior. Christian clarifies that they did not have sex because she was unconscious. Aina acknowledges her strong desire for him, but struggles with her subconscious, which tries to convince her that he isn't interested. After they both take showers, Aina questions Christian about the first edition books he gifted her. He explains that it was an apology and a warning. He reiterates his statement that she should stay away from him, but admits that he can't resist being around her. Aina bites her lip, and Christian expresses his desire to do the same, but he emphasizes that he won't touch her without her explicit written consent. He invites her to his apartment in Seattle, and they plan to meet that night. Christian instructs Aina to dry her hair and finish eating before he takes her home. As they ride in the hotel elevator, he exclaims, "Oh, fuck the paperwork," and passionately kisses Aina in a way she has never experienced before, intensifying her desire for him. Chapter 6. Christian escorts Aina to her apartment, where they find Kate and Elliot together. Aina feels envious as Elliot passionately kisses Kate goodbye, wishing Christian would show the same affection towards her. Elliot bids Kate farewell with the phrase letters, "baby," and Christian jokingly says the same to Aina, confirming that he will pick her up later. Taylor, Christian's driver, takes them to Christian's helicopter called Charlie Tango, which Christian himself pilots. They arrive at Christian's home in Seattle. Once there, he presents Aina with a non-disclosure agreement, which she signs. Aina asks if this means they will make love, to which Christian responds that he doesn't make love, but instead engages in passionate, intense encounters. He mentions that there is more paperwork to be completed and hints that Aina doesn't yet fully understand what she's getting into. Christian then invites her to see his playroom, indicating a significant development in their relationship. Chapter 7. Aina enters Christian's playroom, which is described as being decorated in dark burgundy. The room is filled with various BDSM equipment, including restraining cuffs, ropes, chains, shackles, paddles, whips, and riding crops. A large bed dominates the space. Curious, Aina touches a flogger, and Christian explains its purpose. Aina begins to grasp that Christian enjoys inflicting pain on women. Christian reveals that he is a dominant and expresses his desire for Aina to willingly submit to him in all aspects. He emphasizes that he wants her to genuinely want to please him. When Aina asks what she gets out of it, Christian simply replies, "Me." He shows Aina a room that will be hers to sleep in on weekends, making it clear that he will not be sleeping with her there. Christian mentions that there will be another contract to define the terms of their relationship. Aina expresses her doubts about wanting this kind of relationship, but Christian insists that it is the only type of relationship he's interested in. He demands that she eat something and then proceeds to show her his list of rules, which covers obedience, sleep, food, clothing, exercise, personal hygiene, grooming, safety, and other expectations. He also shares his hard limits with her. During this conversation, Christian learns that Aina is a virgin, which leaves him slightly flustered. Chapter 8. Christian, taken aback by the revelation of Anna's virginity, decides to rectify the situation by making love to her. They engage in intimate activities, and Anna experiences her first orgasms. They continue to have sex multiple times throughout the night. The following morning, Anna discovers Christian playing the piano. She perceives a sense of melancholy in him, gaining a deeper understanding of his complex emotions. Chapter 9. Anna's subconscious reminds her that she might be considered crazy for losing her virginity to Christian and contemplating engaging in his unconventional desires. Despite her thoughts, Anna prepares breakfast for both of them, and Christian joins her. He instructs her to eat before continuing with her basic training. Anna receives a call from Kate, who had been expressing concern through multiple calls and texts. After the call, Anna asks Christian if she can talk to Kate about their sexual relationship, but he firmly denies her request. They proceed to take a bath together, and it is during this intimate moment that Anna performs oral sex on Christian for the first time. She takes pleasure in her ability to pleasure him, and her inner goddess is thrilled with her newfound skills. Moving from the bath to the bed, Christian instructs Anna to keep her hands tied above her head as they engage in sexual activities. He reciprocates by giving her oral sex, and they proceed to have intercourse once again. Afterward, Anna realizes that she wants to continue their relationship. She experiences a profound sense of devotion, stating that she would do anything for Christian in that moment. She recognizes the wonder and pleasure that he has introduced her to, surpassing her wildest expectations. Anna desires to stay in this world of intense pleasure that Christian has shown her. As the chapter concludes, Christian and Anna hear voices outside his bedroom door, indicating the arrival of Christian's mother. Chapter 10. Anna meets Christian's mother, Dr. Grace Trevelyan Gray, who tells Anna to call her Grace. Her announced arrival stems from worrying, as she hasn't heard from Christian in weeks. She seems pleasantly surprised and relieved to meet Anna. Joe's calls, and Christian becomes cold and aloof. He gives Anna the contract to review and suggests she do some research to understand what she's getting herself into. He agrees she can discuss their sex with Kate if Kate says nothing to Elliot. Christian drives Anna back to Portland, and on the way, they stop to eat in Olympia. Christian reveals that Grace's friend seduced him when he was 15, and she made him her submissive for 6 years. The friend's name is Alana, though Christian does not disclose this to Anna, who dubs the woman Mrs. Robinson. Christian drops off Anna at her apartment. She is sad to say goodbye, even with a date set for later that week. Her mood changes, though, when she surprises Christian by showing him she's wearing his underwear. Kate and Anna catch up, and Anna notices how relaxed she is away from Christian. She can eat without his nagging. She can talk to Joe's on the phone without Christian becoming possessive. Kate is smitten with Elliot. She expresses concern about Christian. In Chapter 11, Anna reads through the contract that Christian has provided, which outlines the parameters of the dominant, submissive relationship he desires with her. Overwhelmed by its contents, Anna's subconscious and inner goddess engage in a mental struggle, debating whether she should enter into such a relationship with Christian. She grapples with the idea of relinquishing her power, but also acknowledges that she doesn't want to be without Christian because she has never felt as alive as she does with him. The following day, Anna receives a MacBook Pro from Christian, preset with an email account for their communication. They engage in banter and exchange emails, while Anna conducts research on the concept of submission. Chapter 13. Anna and Christian plan to meet and discuss the contract. Anna expresses her desire to drive and meet Christian at his hotel instead of him picking her up. Once they arrive at a private dining room reserved by Christian, they begin reviewing each issue that Anna has with the contract. Christian repeatedly asks if she trusts him, and after some hesitation, Anna finally admits that she does. Christian explains the concept of BDSM, highlighting that pleasure and pain are interconnected and two sides of the same coin. He argues that pain can intensify pleasure and offer new experiences. Anna objects to Christian controlling her eating and sleeping, and he agrees to remove those aspects from the contract. Anna brings up the idea that Christian's aversion to touch may stem from his relationship with Mrs. Robinson. Christian is surprised by her insight and agrees that he uses sex as a weapon. Anna realizes that she's at a disadvantage in their seductive game because Christian is the only one who knows and understands the rules. She feels powerless within this arrangement. Despite Christian's attempts to persuade her to stay, Anna decides to leave and think about their conversation and whether she can truly engage in this kind of relationship. She is distraught at the possibility of losing him and sheds tears over the situation. Chapter 14. Ray, Anna's stepfather, arrives for her graduation ceremony. Kate delivers her valedictorian speech, and Christian delivers his commencement speech. During his speech, Christian reveals that he understands what it feels like to be hungry, which is why his company focuses on providing food to those in need. Anna introduces Christian to Ray, and Kate openly announces that Christian is Anna's boyfriend. Christian exhibits possessive behavior, keeping a close watch on Anna whenever she interacts with others. Anna confesses to Christian that she wants more from their relationship, but she agrees to try being his submissive, with certain soft limits in place. She wraps the books he gave her, intending to return them during their discussion of those limits. Anna includes a quote from Tess of the D'Urbervilles on the package, asking Christian not to hurt her too severely. Chapter 15. Christian visits Anna's apartment in the evening, and they continue their discussion about their arrangement. He invites her outside to show her the car he bought as a graduation gift, but she insists on taking it on loan only. After returning inside, they engage in sexual activity. Chapter 16. During their conversation, Christian reveals that he avoids physical touch because he believes he is deeply troubled. He proceeds to spank Anna, and although she experiences intense pain in the moment, she finds herself feeling satisfied afterward. Once Christian leaves, Anna calls her mother to express her confusion about a man. Her mother suggests that she visit Georgia to take some time away. Later, Anna lies to Kate about why she is too sore to sit. Anna and Christian exchange emails, and Anna eventually confesses that she dislikes him because he never stays with her. Overwhelmed with emotions, Anna cries as she contemplates how emotionally unavailable Christian is and how their relationship will only bring her more pain. Unexpectedly, Christian shows up at her apartment and finds her upset. He offers to stay the night. Anna asks him why he enjoys hitting her, and he explains that it gives him a sense of control. He wants her to behave in a specific way, and if she doesn't, he will punish her to enforce his desired behavior. For Christian, spanking and hitting are about exerting control. Anna shares that when she is with him, she feels like Icarus, flying too close to the sun and risking her own destruction. Chapter 17. Anna and Christian wake up together the next morning. After he leaves, they exchange emails discussing Anna's experience with spanking. She admits feeling humiliated, but also aroused by it. Anna jokingly suggests that if she followed her body's desires, she would be in Alaska. But Christian reminds her that he can track her cell phone. To ensure constant communication, he has a courier deliver a BlackBerry to her. Anna, Kate, and Joes have a meal together, and their friendship seems to have returned to normal. When Elliot arrives, Anna and Joes leave to give Kate and Elliot some privacy. Upon returning home, Anna finds multiple missed calls, an email, and a voicemail from Christian. She feels overwhelmed and suffocated by his constant attention, but eventually calls him and expresses her desire for him to be with her. Elliot assists Anna and Kate in moving into their new apartment in Seattle. As a housewarming gift, Christian arranges for champagne and a helicopter balloon to be delivered. The next day, Anna heads to Christian's apartment as planned. He has made arrangements for an OB-GYN appointment to ensure her well-being and provide contraception. He also invites her to join him for dinner with his family that evening. Chapter 18. After Anna's gynecological exam, Christian feeds her. He then takes her to the Red Room of Pain, a room dedicated to their BDSM activities. Christian emphasizes that when they are in that room, she is completely his and subject to his desires. He instructs her on how he wants her to dress and position herself in the room. Christian fastens her wrists above her head to a grid on the wall and proceeds to tease and strike her with a riding crop. As he does so, Anna dissociates and discovers that she can control and derive pleasure from pain. They engage in sexual activity once again before Christian leads her to bed, where she falls asleep. Chapter 20. Christian takes Anna to the boathouse, where they have sex, but he intentionally denies her orgasm. Mia interrupts them to inform them that Kate and Elliot are leaving. Christian insists that he and Anna also need to leave. During the car ride, Anna brings up the idea that Christian only invited her because Elliot invited Kate, but Christian denies it. Anna explains her intention behind going to Georgia, expressing her desire to take a break from their relationship in order to reflect on their situation. Christian asks her to stay with him that night and to postpone signing the contract until after her trip to Georgia. In bed, Anna requests that Christian make love to her and allow her to touch him. He refuses her request. Anna proposes that he can spank her again if he explains why he is against her touching him. They engage in sexual activity in which he instructs her to ask him to spank her again, and he complies. Afterward, Anna reminds him of their agreement, and Christian reveals that his biological mother was a crack addict and a prostitute who passed away when he was only 4 years old. Chapter 20. Christian takes Anna to the boathouse, where they have sex, but he intentionally denies her orgasm. Mia interrupts them to inform them that Kate and Elliot are leaving. Christian insists that he and Anna also need to leave. During the car ride, Anna brings up the idea that Christian only invited her because Elliot invited Kate, but Christian denies it. Anna explains her intention behind going to Georgia, expressing her desire to take a break from their relationship in order to reflect on their situation. Christian asks her to stay with him that night and to postpone signing the contract until after her trip to Georgia. In bed, Anna requests that Christian make love to her and allow her to touch him. He refuses her request. Anna proposes that he can spank her again if he explains why he is against her touching him. They engage in sexual activity in which he instructs her to ask him to spank her again, and he complies. Afterward, Anna reminds him of their agreement, and Christian reveals that his biological mother was a crack addict and a prostitute who passed away when he was only 4 years old. Chapter 21. The next morning, Anna finds Christian in his office, and they have sex on his desk. Afterwards, Anna mentions Icarus once again, symbolizing the risks they are taking in their relationship. They reassure each other that they will miss one another while Anna is in Georgia. Before leaving, Anna attends an interview with Seattle Independent Publishing, and it goes well. When she arrives home, Kate notices a change in her demeanor and attributes it to Christian. Kate drives Anna to the airport, where Anna discovers that Christian has upgraded her to a first-class seat. Chapter 22. Anna sends an email to Christian, playfully informing him that his upgrade resulted in her receiving a massage, hoping to make him jealous. The seat next to her in first class remains empty, and she experiences a mix of relief and disappointment that Christian didn't join her. Upon arriving in Savannah, her mother and stepfather, Bob, are there to greet her. Anna opens up to her mother about Christian, and her mother offers simple advice, stating that men are not complicated creatures. While Anna recognizes the wisdom in her mother's words, she also acknowledges that Christian is far from being a simple individual. Anna receives an email from Christian expressing his fear of losing her, and she contemplates taking her mother's advice more literally. She misses Christian and desires to see him. Anna discovers through email correspondence that Christian is having dinner with an old friend. Thoughts of Mrs. Robinson, the woman who seduced him, stir up anger within Anna, knowing that she still holds a place in Christian's life. As Anna and her mother enjoy drinks at a bar, they exchange emails with Christian, and it becomes apparent that he might be present at the same bar. Chapter 23. Christian is indeed present at the bar in Georgia where Anna and her mother are. Anna introduces Christian to her mother, and he explains that he had planned to visit Anna at her mother's house the next day, but ended up at the hotel bar for a drink where he unexpectedly ran into her. They have a brief conversation about his dinner with Mrs. Robinson before Christian excuses himself. Anna's mother encourages her to stay with Christian for the night, believing that they are clearly in love with each other. Anna goes to Christian's hotel room, and they engage in sexual activity. While intimate, Anna notices scars on Christian's chest that appear to be cigarette burns. When she asks if Mrs. Robinson caused those scars, Christian evades the question, but admits that she loved him in a way he found acceptable. By introducing him to the world of BDSM, she provided him with a controlled way to give and receive love. Christian reveals that he confides in Mrs. Robinson and even talks about Anna with her. Anna expresses her doubts about being Christian's submissive for an extended period, as it feels like she's not being true to herself. She questions why he has the need to control her, and he confesses that it satisfies a need within him that wasn't fulfilled during his formative years. When Anna suggests that it might be a form of therapy for him, Christian agrees. They continue to have sex, and Anna feels a sense of happiness. Chapter 24. Christian wakes Anna early so they can watch the sunrise together. During their car ride, they discuss some of Christian's previous submissive. They arrive at an airfield, and Anna realizes that Christian has arranged for them to go gliding. They experience the thrill of gliding in the plane, with moments of floating, dipping, spiraling, and even flying upside down. Anna is captivated by the sensations and compares the experience to Icarus, with Christian guiding her through the exhilaration and danger. Afterward, they have breakfast together, and Christian tells Anna that he wants to give her more. He drops her off at her mother's house. Anna receives a call from Seattle Independent Publishing, informing her that she has been offered the job. Shortly after, Christian calls and reveals that he needs to return to Seattle to deal with the situation. Chapter 25. Anna boards a flight back to Seattle in first class, courtesy of Christian. She carries a gift for him, a model glider, realizing that what she truly desires from him is his love. She recognizes that the BDSM aspect of their relationship is a distraction from the real issue at hand. The incredible sex, his wealth, and his physical beauty all lose their meaning without his love, and the heartbreaking realization is that she doesn't know if he is capable of love. Anna contemplates the possibility that Christian purposely bought the empty seat beside her to prevent her from talking to anyone else. Upon arriving at Christian's apartment, they engage in sexual activity. He instructs her to go to the Red Room of Pain. Once there, he blindfolds her, restrains her, plays loud music, and uses a flogger on her. Despite the intensity, Anna experiences immense pleasure. Chapter 26. Anna wakes up early the next morning and finds Christian playing the piano. They discuss the revised terms of their relationship now that Christian has agreed to more. Christian asserts that he will still punish Anna if she breaks any rules and brings out the contract for her to reread. They engage in a playful chase, during which Anna acknowledges that since meeting Christian, she has constantly been in danger, regardless of the rules they establish. She realizes that despite her love for him, she's always at risk of experiencing physical and emotional pain. As they delve into a conversation about Christian's emotions and his perspective on BDSM, Anna senses the depth of emotional pain he carries within him. She longs to provide comfort and guide him out of the darkness and into the light. Anna requests Christian to punish her so that she can understand the extent of the pain he needs. He strikes her forcefully with a belt on her buttocks, making her count the strikes until he reaches 6. Anna takes a shower, dresses, and prepares to leave. She leaves behind the model glider and the laptop, and requests the money Taylor received for her old car from Christian. As she enters the elevator, they bid each other farewell. During the drive home with Taylor, Anna breaks down in tears, realizing that the devastation she feels from the end of their relationship far surpasses the physical pain she endured during their encounters.